can't get any wilder than this. Spiky hair, chains, studs, and tattoos. They are the punk rockers. Adam Teo was just 14 when he saw the punks for the first time.
You know, they are not the typical, you know, back in those 90s, early 90s, everyone was having long hair, you know, Guns N' Roses, Metallica stuff. So I was thinking, you know, this is something very interesting. What kind of music did you listen to? So from there, I started exploring, and soon I started dressing up like one, you know, just like any kid would do, you know, like you dress, and it's a lot easier because you don't have to wait for your hair to grow long. You just have to just shave both sides and then, you know, spike it up, and yeah, and then you'll be on the street.
Those punks made heads turn. They'd been unusual anywhere. What more in Singapore?
When I first got into that kind of lifestyle, one thing for sure, one thing I know for sure is you definitely got to have a permanent girlfriend, because you're not going to be able to find one. Shock-wise, the shock value is still there. You know, my parents was alarmed as usual, but then my mom always tell my dad, like, oh, come on, you know, he is a musician, you know, so musicians sometimes things funny. So,
In other countries, punk rockers call for violent change. But in Singapore, they're slightly different, perhaps a little wiser. Only their band names scream anger. Opposition party, band of slaves, objection overruled.
We are more angry with the people that live around us, more of the society than just the whole angst in it, you know, just the government, the people that we live in, and the media, the press, everything, every little thing. You can come all the way down to your co-worker, you know, to your fellow students, you know, every angst that we could pick up.
The sound of punk rock is a big pull for Adam. Hard strumming of the electric guitar, frantic beats of the drums. Painful to the ear for some, but sweet music to punk fans like Adam.
We played in the traditional gig place, the traditional stage in Substation Garden. That was basically like our dream stage to play on, you know, when we first started. Wherever they could hold gigs, we got our fair share of playing there. I mean, we even play in small, rundown places, like really small shop house, where you're supposed to pack only 50 people, but they pack like about 100, 200 people in it, and there's no stage, nothing, just lift up speakers and we just whack. And yeah, we play in those kind of areas, which we personally prefer that. There's more interaction in it.
But I care about the things you wanna say about me. I don't care about the
But this, after all, is Singapore. And even punks follow rules. Adam knows when to watch his words.
Especially if you're playing in a punk band, you tend to offend a lot of other people. You know, people who are more powerful than you, richer than you, more established than you. I tend to use metaphorical terms, you know, or sometimes I'll just illustrate them into like a mini movie in my songs, but actually I just do it basically in a more subtle way, and I find that it's harder.
It is hard trying to get the public to accept you if you're a punk band. Indie bands like Objection Overruled don't always get treated professionally. Sometimes organizers of gigs sign them up for a performance but won't pay them.
Organizers will come to band and say, look, you know, we have a show coming up. We're going to be, you know, we're going to put you guys out there, you know, with this whole lot of big bands, you know, and the band will not be paid a cent sometimes, you know, and they will say, you know, when the band say, like, you know, are we going to be paid? They'll just go turn around and say, look, we're giving you the best exposure that you will ever need, you know. And I don't think that's the way to treat a band. And it's not only punk bands that have been treated that way. I think I would say almost 90% of local bands are treated that way.